But now here we are, and high school is over. Okay, so let me help you understand emotions. So Imani has
emotions.
Yeah, the emotions of it all. So Imani enters high school. She goes through high school. We go through living at my mother's house. We now move into our apartment. She has these proms. She has dance still. So we have recitals and competitions and travel. She has, again, her circle of friends, so they're always doing something.
Oh, and I was on the step team at school.
So that wasn't really an expense too much.
It wasn't never an expense.
Was anything but that.
But just how busy my high school life was.
Then we're traveling, still trying to keep a normal type of life. But then we're in the apartment. She has her friends over. You can have your friends over as often as you want. Anything you want to do here, I don't care what you do. Imani, again, was never a bad child. I was never concerned about her breaking any rules. Again, if she was out, text me, the normal text. Let me know you got there. Let me know, check in while you're there. Let me know when you're on your way back. I just need to make sure that you are safe and you're where you're supposed to be. There's no danger, anything like that. That's me. And I don't care. Like I said in the other one, that's just how I was. And it never bothered her. I don't think. Okay, maybe it did. But she knew, I don't care. You can be bothered all day long. But make sure you send the messages that I want you to send. And as long as you send them, you don't have to worry about me showing up. So just do what it is you need to do.
That part didn't bother me. It was once she was tracking me. That's what bothered me.
Okay, so with the whole tracker thing, she has a coworker, one of my coworkers, to thank for that. She was doing with her own children.
Wait, are you talking about Life 360? Mm-hmm. No, you were tracking me before that.
Oh yeah, the Sprint thing. Mm-hmm. I sure did. Okay, because she was going downtown to school, I was able to, we had the family locator on our phones, and I would put alerts on my phone. So I knew what time she had to be to school. Although so let's say she had to be to school at 8 o'clock. She always got there like by 7:30. And it was primarily because she told me she had to stand these long lines to go through the metal detectors to get into school.
Yeah.
So she wanted to get there early so not to have to be in this long line. So let's say she got there at 7:30, but I knew school didn't start till 8. So I would set a reminder, I don't know what you call it, but it was like a check-in at 8 o'clock to let me know she was at school. Okay. And then I knew she had her step team or that she had dance or anything like that. So on the days that she had dance, I would set a check-in on my phone so that it would pop up to let me know that at like 4:30 she was at dance, because that's what she was supposed to be. Or if she didn't have dance, normally she would go out after school every day, because again, they eat every day after school. Then I knew that even with all of that, that she should be home by, let's say, 6. So then I would have a check-in on my phone at 6 o'clock to make sure she was where she was supposed to be.
Was I really at home at 6?
I don't know. Probably not. So it was different things like that. I wasn't constantly just on the
It was for safety purposes.
It was for safety purposes.
But no kid, no teenager wants to hear that their mom is tracking them. For what? Because, normally you think, oh, they track me because they think I'm about to be out here doing stuff.
Nope.
And I'm like, well, dang, if I really wanted to.
She could. But that's not what it was. It was strictly for safety purposes. So that if something happened, I knew how to get her. Or where she was last seen, or all that other good stuff. This city crazy. Violence happens everywhere, and I just need to make sure she was safe.
Honestly, though, I'm probably going to do the same with my kids. So.
See? You're welcome.
Now I don't care, because, I'm older. I don't have to lie.
Yes, I still have a child.
Not that I lied about where I was going, but
Privacy. It's all about privacy, and I totally get it. But again, these are just things I need to know. But anyway, so we go through. She's still in dance. She goes on her prom. She gets all of that. And then we're about to head into graduation. And again, that's expensive. It's the cap and the gown and the yearbook and the this and the that and the those and the thems. And graduation day comes. And something that I remember talking about with friends or people who have gone through putting a child through high school and stuff like that, the emotion that a parent gets when seeing their child walk across the stage it is definitely because you're happy that your child is graduating. But the underlying piece of that, y'all don't know our struggle. And you don't know our story. And everything that we had to go through to get her across that stage. Not, getting there on time or doing all that. Just to get to that day that she can proudly walk across that stage and be proud of herself. That she got there in the midst of all of the struggles that I went through, that she had to live through, but was still able to get there at that moment. So that's just like a sidebar, but I just had to throw that in there because it's an amazing feeling. And I look at it as that was me. I'm the reason why she's walking across that stage like that.
It was.
I'm the reason why.
It's still you.
The struggle was real, but the struggle was worth it to get her to that point. Like, y'all just don't understand, and you just love her so much because she was able to get through my crap. And basically, she was able to live through my crap with very little complaint. And the complaints that she may have had were not over the top or extreme, anything like that. It was just normal teenage complaint. So again, we get through the high school, and now it's like,
I want to say something
Sure.
regarding like the struggle and everything. How like she's saying, people don't know your struggle. I wanted to relate it back to how people thought I didn't. Not that I didn't go through anything, because everybody goes through stuff, but people didn't know how bad it was. And part of like I never said anything, and even like do you think I'm emotional?
yes.
Really? Like bad? Emotional what? Okay. People say I'm a Cancer, and I don't blame everything on my sign. But, they say we're emotional, and for the longest, I didn't consider myself to be emotional because I don't cry a lot.
You're passionate.
But I get mad easily, I get irritated easily. That's the part where I feel like the emotional part comes in. But me, I don't cry a lot. I mean, like, I cry. Like, if I watch a movie or a show, I will cry. But for people to make me cry is rare. Like, if you made me cry, I'm probably mad, not sad. But anyway, I say that to say... Oh, but I'm also the type of person that hides my emotions to other people. I don't like for people... I don't know why I really do it. Like, I've never cried in front of people. I just don't like to show my emotions. And I feel like stuff that happened at home, I never really showed at school. So that's why people may have not really noticed or thought that I was going through what I was going through. That's why I was saying that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like, even with me, after going through the separation, and people didn't know for 2 whole years that I was separated, because we don't want pity parties. We don't want woe is me's, and I got you and you got me, and at the end of the day,
that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, you really only got yourself, and like, I know I have her, but it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like to talk about my problems with people like that. But I guess it's because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. But then at the end of the day, what can that person really do for you? So it's like, why am I about to sit here and waste my time and breath when all you're probably going to say is, oh, I'm so sorry, that sucks. I'm sorry.
But then this is a whole different flip side of it. But sometimes when you can find the right person to share your information with, that's when you realize you don't go through these things alone. That you're not the only person going through that.
The only time I would bring it up is when they would bring it up.
Right.
That's the only time. I'm never the one to come to you about my problems. Unless you ask like, oh,
and it's not always good to keep your feelings bottled up. Let's just put that out there. Because it can live in you for years and years and years. And then that creates problems for relationships that you try to build with girlfriends or significant others,
just
family members,
period.
Relationships, period. So don't sit in your stuff.
And I'm realizing that now that I'm
right.
getting older,
Don't sit in your stuff. You have to share it. But I was saying that to say, and then, so we got her through high school. Now we have to make the decision of colleges. And Was Hampton always your number one?
Yeah.
So the college selection process starts. Well, once she got into high school, colleges started sending out information immediately.
And I started going on college tours.
Our church, kudos to our church, always did a college tour every year. But I remember just when the mail started coming, period, from colleges, and it was like already she just started high school. So whatever system is out there, y'all good, because she was getting the information from these schools. So we were dealing with college information since day one of high school, it seems like. But every spring break, my college did a tour, even like on some long holiday weekend.
But what's crazy though, she went to Hampton. I never been till high school, and still didn't go with her my first time. I went with our church. No, I take that back. The first time I ever went was when our cousin graduated.
Dominique. What's up, Dominique?
Dominique.
So then that was coming in, and then freshman year, sophomore year.
You don't really start, well, the schools don't really start pushing it till 11th grade, but I feel as though, at least my school in particular, I can't speak for all schools, but I feel as though they should have started a little bit earlier. Maybe exactly the start of 11th grade. I feel as though my school, from what I can remember, started the end of 11th grade. And then we just had to like come back knowing what we wanted to do. And everybody don't get that support at home and have people at home to help them. So people go to school for those reasons. So I feel like my school should have started that process a little bit earlier. But we mainly didn't dive into it till senior year, because we have a class called Senior Capstone, and that's basically where you look up colleges. Colleges come and visit, do all your applications, and I feel like you should have, somewhat of a class like that before then.
And I thought that was fabulous, because it had been a long time since I was in high school. So the whole process of it all, and that's how she was able to come home knowing what school she wanted to go to. So I wasn't really involved in that process at all of her picking the college or anything like that. But in the back of my mind through all of this was, how in the world are we going to pay for this? So obviously in my mind it was like, I'm going to have to take out a second job.
You talked about that, but I never knew that was for school. And my mom she never limited me to where I wanted to go. I was able to
go. We're going to make it work. Somehow we're going to make it work. I don't know. But I pushed her to be a good student because... What were you going to say?
To leave Pennsylvania.
Oh, no. I pushed her to be a good student because I knew that we needed scholarships, we needed grants, we needed financial aid, and we need you to be eligible for all of this. So I need you to be the best student you can be and get these grades in, because without it,
I mean, no matter what, I would have went to college. It was just like, worst case scenario, you might have to stay home.
Right. And go to
which I did not want to. Right. I didn't want to stay in Philly. I didn't want to stay in Pennsylvania. I wanted to leave.
And I pushed her to leave because my parents also taught us, me and my brother, you go away your first year. If you don't like it, then you come back. But you have to go away your first year because you have to say you tried. And you need something different than where you've been for the past 12 years.
And college is that only, and I know it can be expensive, but it can work. You can make it do. And college is the only time where you can finally go anywhere in the world, not even just America. Like if you wanted to go to school across seas, you can. I mean, I feel like a lot of people at my school didn't utilize that. I feel like they're so stuck in this bubble, which to each his own. That's what you prefer, is what you prefer. But I just feel like college, people should really take the opportunity to branch out if they can, because it's a new experience and it's something that you're not used to, and it's just, I feel like it's good to get away from college.
So now here we are going into her senior year. We've taken the SATs. She wasn't really happy the first time she took it.
Wait, well, I took the SAT 3 times. Each time it got lower. That is so sad. And I wasn't happy the first time I took it. So I just had to
She's never been a good test taker.
Not to this day.
Never has been a good test taker.
Day.
But then also because of that, that's when I was like, you have to make sure you do your homework. You have to make sure you do your projects. You have to make sure you do all of that, because they need to offset these bad behind test grades.
They wasn't bad. Don't do me like that. They wasn't bad. Now, because I'm not about to tell y'all what I got, but it wasn't bad. It was doable.
It was enough, but
I got into almost every
not
school.
thank God, but most of the schools that she was entering, because of the grades that most of the schools she was interested in, didn't require an SAT score.
That was
if
only
you had a GPA above.
That was only Hampton. Every other school required.
SAT.
Yeah, so what she's about to say is Hampton, it was the only school that did this. If your GPA was because you was about to keep going and you're wrong. Hampton, if you have I don't know if this still applies now, but if you have at the time, if you had a 3.3 GPA or higher, you didn't have to send in your SAT scores. I did, but I did it just because I knew my grades would possibly save me, so I just sent the SAT score just to send it. But yeah, it wasn't every school, it was just Hampton. At least every school I applied to, it was only Hampton.
Although there was a financial struggle, there was also emotional struggles, emotional issues. So now with her applying to her colleges and things like that, why are you laughing?
Because you studied on your words.
But her applying to her colleges, now I have to put on this armor because now I have to protect her and figure out what the next step will be if she does not get into the college she wanted to. Just like her going through middle school. If she does not get into the high school that she wants to get into, what's the emotional step with that? So that's why it was like, let me know what this letter is going to say so that I know how to comfort or congratulate in this situation. And then moving on to college, it was, oh my God, what if she doesn't get in? So she's applying to 9 colleges. 8, 9, 10 colleges.
I got in.
And the decision, we did early decision, so that was like in like November
1st, I want to say,
of her senior year. And
early action. Early decision is when you apply to that one school, and if you get in, you go in there.
Right.
We did early action.
So you apply like November, and you should hear by the end of December. So by the time the new year came around, if you knew your school great, we were done.
No, not end of December, but early of the next. I didn't get that Hampton letter.
I know because it was late, but what I'm saying, the normal process would have been.
But it still was beginning of the new year.
Of the new year, she should get it, right? That letter was not coming.
Wait, are you talking about Hampton?
Yeah. So
Did we preference that my top choice was Hampton?
Yeah. So
let me tell y'all though, my top. I wanted to go to a HBCU. I knew that for a fact. For some reason, I only applied to 2, which was, I think back, that was kind of, I should have applied to more, but thank God I got in. But the 2 that I applied to were Hampton and Howard. They were my top 2 choices. Hampton was number 1, Howard was number 2. Other schools I applied to were actually in Pennsylvania. I didn't think smart about my college application.
She kept saying that, and she thinks it was just because the Hampton letter, so she was getting all of her decisions from all these other schools that she was applying to, but that Hampton decision was not coming. So it was, time was going by, she's keep getting all these schools, and then she realized all the schools she had applied to were in Pennsylvania. And it's like, if I wanted to go away, why didn't I apply to more schools? So now she's feeling down on herself.
Yeah.
Like, that was stupid, I'm so stupid.
And I wanted to go to HBCU, so why wouldn't I apply to more than 2 HBCUs? Like, what was I thinking?
So it was, you're not stupid, you're not anything like that. So then having to go through that process of
also,
encouragement.
I was iffy about what I wanted to major in. I was never that girl or that student who knew what they wanted to do when they grew up. I really was not smart about my college decisions. I mean, college choices. You know, normally, since people know what they
get into the number 1.
Normally, since people know what they want to major in, they look at schools that have the good program for what they want to major in. I was just going based off if the campus was pretty, if the academics were somewhat good, the location, because at that point in time, I used to be a computer science major, now I'm a journalism major. I'm not about to explain why and how that happened. But I didn't figure that out till my senior year. And by that point, I already knew I wanted to go to Hampton. Like, I've been past schools in mind before I even figured out what I wanted to do. So I didn't even pick schools based on, oh, they have a good program for my major. I was just picking based off other factors. Like, I picked Hampton because the campus was nice. And because I'm also, For me, since I have been there before, I had a lot of people that went to Hampton. She went to Hampton, our cousins went to Hampton. So I was somewhat familiar with Hampton. Like, I've always heard about it. So then was actually going there, I actually liked it for myself. So that's what made me choose Hampton. Mainly because the campus was pretty, not even gonna lie.
So she had all these decisions coming back from all these schools, but the letter from Hampton wasn't coming.
And let me tell you what really put me down, not to keep cutting you off. Like I said, Howard was my second choice. I got my Howard letter before my Hampton letter, and I didn't get into Howard. So that point, I'm like, well, if I don't get into Hampton, where am I going?
And then that's when it was, why didn't I apply to more HBCUs?
Exactly, because I'm like, if I don't get into Hampton, I'll go to Howard. Not thinking I wouldn't, I don't know, I was just knew I was going to get into Hampton, which I did. But I'm just like, once the Howard letter came, I'm like, whoa, that was my second choice. Like, I was banking on either one of these two schools. What am I supposed to do? So if I didn't get into Hampton, just to let y'all know, I probably would have went to Penn State, because they gave me the most money besides Hampton, and that was the best school.
It was only an hour away.
Out of the as opposed to
5.5 hours.
I did not want to be that close. Our way was too close for me.
Right. And I wanted her to go away. And of course I wanted her to go to Hampton because that's also my alma mater. But then when it was like, oh, but Penn State's only an hour away, maybe you should stay close. So for a minute it was me being an overprotective mom, but God had a whole nother plan. But again, so time was going by and this decision was not coming from Hampton. What was the dates that colleges did? Like,
oh yeah, so
Hampton
has acceptance student, admitted students day,
several
and
schools.
high school day.
Right.
They have one of the I always get them confused. One of the events is in February. The other one is March, April. So since I didn't get my acceptance letter or anything from Hampton, I didn't know about that stuff, because high school day anybody can go. Admitted Students Day is for people who got into Hampton. So I didn't know about that. But other people had went, and I'm like,
So
couldn't even go. Yeah,
so
then
like,
I'm thinking
oh my
I
gosh,
didn't
she
even
didn't get in. But we had heard nothing. So it was like one of those days, it was like, Imani, let's contact the school and find out what happened.
Did we even
And
do that?
what happened? Why was there a delay? They didn't have her transcript from high school.
My counselor.
You know how many I's we dotted and how many T's we crossed?
And you know how much trust
in
I had in my
sending
counselor?
in these applications?
Don't get me wrong, she was so cool. What's her name? I don't even put her name out
there like that.
But she was so cool, and I was so disappointed. And I went to her, I said, I got into Hampton. She's like, oh good. I said, but they gave it to me late because you didn't send my transcript in on time. It was my transcript and my letter of recommendation.
So I don't remember what happened, how we finally got it there or what, but the information came shortly thereafter, and we knew I knew that the decision was obviously already made, because everything that she got in the mail saying that she was admitted was a date from a long time ago. So they were willing to send it out, but they needed the information first. They had to have all the pieces of information in order to send her her decision letter.
Because if they had if they didn't have my transcript, how they knew my grades? How did they know my
They
grades?
knew your mama, and you was
They
just
didn't
getting in.
know
I don't know how it happened, but because the letter talked about what was it called? New Admit Day? Admitted Student Day. That was in the packet. All these deadlines had already passed, but it was already in the packet, in the letter that they had addressed to her. So it was like, it was probably sitting on somebody's desk waiting to send in, but they needed these extra pieces of information.
Well,
so
thank
anyway,
God they waited. They could have just threw it in the trash.
right. So, or thank God we followed up when we did, or I don't know what it was. So she finally got this in the mail. We celebrated. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. We did the happy dance. We called the important people that we needed to call.
We prayed.
We prayed. We thanked God, everything. And then days went by, and in my head, I'm like, how in the hell am I about to send her off to college? Because immediately when you get that packet in the mail, first payment is due, like,
Oh yeah, the
soon.
deposit for Hampton is
There's a
crazy.
deposit. There's, it was just like a deposit.
And since I got my acceptance so late, we had to rush.
It was like
things.
immediate.
Whereas other people been new.
Right. Had
February
months and months.
January.
So I had to call my mother and ask my mother to make this deposit because I just didn't have it. Again, it was something that I could have saved up for, but again, it was around in order for her
And they deposit is
to
expensive.
be accepted.
All schools don't have expensive
You had to
deposits
send in
like
this
that.
deposit to confirm her acceptance. So thank God my mom was willing to go ahead and do that. So she sent that in, and then it was a whole process from there. So she got in, and it was like, woo, thank God, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. She's, got college. Now we can go ahead and focus on how we get in there. And then again, it was still just like, how we gonna pay for that? So without making a long story, to make a long story short, we're just gonna say thank God for scholarships, thank God for grants, and thank God for financial aid. That's all we're gonna say. So here we are now. She just finished her second year in college. The lights are still on. The gas is still on. The rent is paid. And I don't give as many no's anymore because she's employed.
I don't really ask.
She's been making some, jobs, and, she works when she's able to work. And we are, knock on wood, thankfully good. So it has been a long journey. It has been a good journey. I don't regret anything because everything leads you to where you are today. Mm-hmm. And I feel as though we're in a good place. She's doing well in school. She's still in school. She's still eating. She still got clothes on her back. She still has a roof over her head. She's got shoes on her feet. And that's all I ever asked for and prayed for. So now my new prayer, my old prayer was, dear God, please let me see her graduate from high school. And my new prayer is, please God, just let me see her graduate from college. So there's always a prayer. But that is my prayer. That is my desire. Her graduating from high school used to be a fear. My fear was always that I not see her graduate from high school. I don't have that fear anymore because she is who she is, and I feel as though she's a remarkable young lady, and she's going to go far, and she's going to make it. My job is quote unquote done. I've raised her to her adulthood. Now she has to do her adulthood on her own because she will be 20 in
less than a month. It's cancer season.
So she's about to be an adult. So I feel as though I've done my part. And now that I have done my part, I can now live my own life. So that's a whole nother video that will come when it comes. But I did my part. Here she is. I thank God for it. I thank my village for it. I thank my family for it. I thank my friends for it. I thank my church for it. I thank it all because it takes a village. It has been a struggle, but obviously it had to happen because God don't make mistakes. So
he does not.
Here we are. So thank you for listening. I hope that was again, if our stories touch one person, I just pray that one person gets it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe so that you will always be notified of uploads. Bye!